have the Glock 26 Gen 5. Five shots, 2 seconds, at 3 yards. We had a 1.1 inch group. I am really liking the grouping. This would probably look really funky with a drum. There we go. Standard capacity. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Grant McLean. Thank you so much for joining us on the Concealed Carry channel today. We're going to do a tabletop review, unboxing, and some range time of the Glock 26 Gen 5. Super excited to share this with you. Before we jump into that, if you like guns and you support the gun community, hit the like on the video. Of course, if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit the little bell so it notifies you when we have new reviews come out. And of course, share the channel with your friends, family, and other enthusiasts. We definitely want to get good, relevant information out there to new gun owners, current gun owners, every type of gun owner, people shopping, whatever it might be. All right. Before we jump in, I also do want to say thank you so much to our friends over at Northwest Armory. If you need a gun, please reach out to them, nwarmory.com. They have been fantastic to work with the channel, getting us guns so that way we can get down to the range, break those downs, give you good relevant information. That way you can make a good educated decision on whether or not it's going to be a good fit for you. So visit them, nwarmory.com, order your gun, have it shipped to your local FFL. If you do happen to go into the store, tell them that Grant over the Concealed Carry channel sent you in. They'll take very good care of you, and say hi to Khaki. He's a very good puppy. The other folks are over at X Hunt Targets. They have been awesome to work with, making sure that we get awesome reactive targets for the reviews. You can go to xhunttargets.com and you can order those, and you have a coupon code available to you just through the holiday with the Concealed Carry channel. It is CCC Holiday. Use that coupon code when you check out. You'll get 20% off your purchase. So make sure you go to X Hunt Targets right after you watch this. Order up some targets, have them shipped to your house. I think you're really, really going to like them. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this Gen 5 Glock 26 and show you what it's going to be like when you get this home and open the box. So it's going to come in the Glock plastic case, which is awesome. I really like that. It's not a locking case, but it certainly is better than some manufacturers that just give you a cardboard box. These cases are stuffed with things. One of the things you're going to find in here sitting on top is going to be your lock. You're going to have your cleaning rod and brush. You'll see your back straps right there. We'll talk about this when we talk about the grip. Here we are. We have the firearm. Let's go ahead and remove that mag. Look at that. There she is. The Glock 26 Gen 5. All right, we'll dive into that in a second. Got your speed loader, and you have 3 10-round double stack mags. I'm going to go ahead and push this stuff aside here. Let's go over the specs of the gun here real quick. So we have a Gen 5 Glock 26. This is a subcompact model. It is a 9mm double stack, so 10 plus 1 in the chamber there. Barrel length on this is 3.4 inches. The overall length on the gun is 6.42 inches. The height is 4.2 inches, and the width is 1.3 inches. Weight on this, empty with the mag in it, you're looking at 1 pound, 5.7 ounces. And the starting MSRP of a Glock 26, you're looking at $5.99. Now, there's a few different configurations you can get this in. The particular one that I have on here has the Ameriglow tritium sights, so that would cost you naturally a little bit more than the plastic U-notch sights. So if you're looking at a Glock 26 and you're looking at the very base model, expect around $599 MSRP. Obviously, in our current gun environment or climate, things are all sorts of skewed. I've seen some of these 26s in the $700 range, and people are buying them because they can't even find them. So right now, of course, supply and demand is driving the prices up. But hey, you know what? If it's a gun that you feel is exactly what you want, you know what? It's not like you're just going to be flipping guns like you're flipping cars. You know, you're going to keep this for a long time and grow into it, I feel. Let's jump into our range footage. We did our usual 3, 5, 7, 10 yards, 5 shots, 2 seconds. And I'm really liking the grouping. I did have a flyer here on the 10 yards, but at 3 yards, we had a 1.1 inch group. At 5 yards, we had a 2.3 inch group. 7 yards, 3.1. And the 10 yards was a 4.8, including that one up there. So these little squares here, they're only 1 inch. Now, if I took that flyer out of the equation, we're looking at about a 2.5 inch group at 10 yards. Naturally, I find that the groups do get bigger the further the target goes out, you know. And, hey, I'm not mad about those groups at all, especially with a small gun like this. And, you know, you have the bottom part of your hand hanging off the gun. It didn't by any means, you know, make me frustrated or anything like that. In that range time, very happy with it. And let's talk about, you know, some of that range time, recoil, and all that stuff here. As we usually do, we'll start at the top with the sights and then go down to the magazine. Let's go ahead and talk about these sights. Now, like I said, this model here has the Ameriglow tritium sights, so it's not going to have that U shape that you're normally used to on the back. This is going to be a 3-dot sight, tritium sight there. These are metal sights, so if you do have the model with the Ameriglow sights, it's kind of cool. They are metal, and these are from the factory this way. You can actually see the Glock stamp on the front and rear sight right on top. This is kind of a common upgrade that I find people doing with their Glocks, as they switch from the polymer to a metal sight, and they'll also do tritium. So it's kind of nice that you can stumble upon this gun with that upgrade already done if you plan on to. I have seen some MOS models online of the Glock 26, but I have yet to see one in person. So that is a option if it's only available so far in Europe versus the US. I haven't seen it in the US, so don't get your hopes too high. You may still want to send this in to get it milled, especially with some of the other optics that are out there right now, like the HoloSun 509, that uses a proprietary plate, essentially, and you might have to get your gun milled if you plan on using that anyways. But the sights are fantastic on this gun. The sight radius is not super long, being that this is a 3.4 inch barrel. It's very much like the Glock 43 or 43X. It's a shorter length. Of course, you know, the other subcompact Glocks there, but they're very easy to pick up. If you're used to 3-dot sights, then you're going to have no problem. I do like the tritium in there, of course. Putting a red dot on top, even cooler. But for this particular model that we have here today, you'd have to get that milled for that. Let's jump into the slide. Now, on the Gen 5s, I really like the beveling on the front, which is very cool. It kind of takes away some of that boxiness, but it still obviously keeps plenty of boxiness, especially towards the rear and the sides of the slide there. It does have the front serrations. I'm a big fan of those front serrations, especially if you're doing those press checks. The slide is not a light slide. However, because the slide is kind of boxy and it's kind of fat, kind of chunky, you can get a really good positive grip on it. So if you're the type of person who's kind of sticking away from this gun, thinking that it might be a little difficult to rack this slide, don't make any assumptions till you get your hands on the gun. and, you know, really try that out. I really do love the front serrations on this. The finish on the slide is fantastic. All the new Gen 5 stuff, I find that the new finish is really nice. It's an NDLC is what Glock calls it, and it tends to wear much better than the previous generations, which were almost, that finish was in a certain sense to me almost kind of fragile. Just in and out of the holster, it's gonna wear quick. I've even seen some people wear through it just putting it on the range table and kind of scooching it across the table at the range, and they're like, oh, what is that? Thought I scuffed it. No, I really did scuff it. Dang it, because that's a brand new gun. Kind of a bummer. The machining is good. You know, you have the Glock logo. You have all the, you know, 26 Gen 5, USA, 9x19. All that stuff looks good. It's machined well. On the MOS, when I get that in my hands, I'll do a review on it. But I won't be surprised if, like, on the Glock 45 MOS and the Glock 19 MOS, I won't be too surprised if that plate for the optic, if the finish is slightly different, and also if the lines don't line up perfectly with it. I won't be too surprised. As we've said many times on the channel, Glock tends to be more function over aesthetics, which is absolutely fine, and plenty of people will agree with that. And then of course people are going to be like, Glock is the ugliest gun ever, but you know what, if it saves your life, it's probably pretty good looking. Let's go ahead and jump into the controls. Everything on these controls is very reminiscent of their compact models. It doesn't have like the oversized slide lock release or slide lock lever. It is ambidextrous, which is cool. So you're going to find that on the right and left side of the gun. You don't have to swap anything over. The magazine release is ambidextrous. It's set up on the left side of the gun as is, so you want to swap that over if you want on the other side. Other than that, you know, you have your little takedown lever here, ambidextrous as well. The trigger is even ambidextrous. That was a joke. Of course it is. So, you know, everything on here functions well. The mag release, I'd probably swap out for a metal one. I don't think that's anything too uncommon. The enhanced slide lock lever, not a very uncommon thing to see people upgrade as well. And I've said this before too, you know, Glock, in my opinion, tends to be kind of like the F-150 of the gun world. It's the gun which other guns are measured by, and a lot of people will take that F-150 and they're going to customize it to their liking, and then they're really going to love it. There are, of course, a handful of Glock folks who keep it completely factory. I've kept my Glock 19 Gen 5 completely factory for when I go out with folks, and I want them to experience it exactly how it comes from the factory. And then if they want to experience the Gucciest Glock ever, I have my Zev OZ9, which I know it's not exactly an upgraded Glock, but it's kind of like, in my opinion, even higher. But that way they have a better idea of factory versus, you know, ultra Gucci. Controls work well, function well, exactly like the other Glocks I'm familiar with, so no surprises there. Let's talk about the trigger. The trigger, typical Glock trigger with the safety built into it. I was kind of bummed that when I opened up the box for this, that it didn't have the serrations in the trigger. I recently did a review on a Glock 48 Gen 5, and it did have the serrations in the trigger, which was cool. I do like that. There are some other guns that do have that, which I do really like as well, but just that little extra grip on there, very nice. The grip is about a 5.5 pound trigger. It has some take up. Glocks are not really known for their triggers. However, I will recommend this to anyone before you decide, okay, I'm going to swap out this trigger. I would say put 500 to 1,000 rounds through it. that trigger might smooth out, or you just grow and learn to like it. So before you start putting money into this, get some time behind the trigger and see if that's even actually going to be a factor for you. So let's give this some trigger pulls real quick so you can see it. You got kind of that squishiness take up. It's under tension right there. It's which I kind of like, because I don't want just a super light trigger, especially if this is the only safety on the gun. So I don't mind that tension right there. You're going to hit that wall, and then you're just going to keep going, and it's just going to break crisp, clean. Bam. Just like that. The reset is not a short reset. There ain't nothing sexy about that reset. And right here, audible though. That is sexy. And break right there. So, not the greatest reset by any means. Obviously, that's one of the reasons people will swap out their triggers, is they want a shorter reset. They want to get rid of some of the squishiness as well, and maybe add a little bit of texturing to the grip of the, a little bit of texturing to that trigger itself. But overall, I don't think that it is a bad trigger, and I can certainly see that someone would be able to grow into this trigger and learn kind of its nuances. Next thing we're going to go down to is the mag release here. So the mag release is plastic. A lot of people swap those out, get metal ones or enhanced ones. It functions just fine as far as that goes. I do find that you still have to remove your pinky, especially with the flush. You can get a pinky extension for these, no problem. You can get extended mags for these, no problem. There is a little bit of a lip to the frame here to kind of help keep those fingers up, but yeah, you're going to have, I mean, I have medium-sized hands, and you're going to have to move that pinky out of the way when you release that mag there. It does do a little bit of a good job on the back side of the backstrap here, keeping the rest of your palm from, you know, pinching the magazine into the gun and keeping it there. But I find that I do have to really, you can kind of see that, you really got to get that out of the way as far as that goes. So, just something to practice, keep that in mind. It is a little bit of a reach to get to that magazine extension as well. I've kind of mentioned this before on some of the other Glock models, that your thumb may hit the mag, but depressing that mag release is a little more difficult if you have medium or small size hands. You're going to have to change your grip angle when doing that. If you love everything about the gun, I wouldn't have that be one of the things that's like make or break, because I feel like with plenty of practice, you're going to be able to get that down no problem as far as that goes. And you'll probably like some of the extended mags and you know, the pinky extensions. Like Pierce does a nice pinky extension you can put on there, and it just kind of fills out the rest of the gun. It actually looks like a factory accessory, even though it's made by Pierce. So they do a good job on that. And, you know, Glock does obviously a good job with their magazines for 9mm double stacks being very versatile. So you can take, you know, a Glock 19, 15 rounder, shove it in there, a 17 rounder. You could even put, you know, a 19X if you want a Coyote tan one in there, and that's 19 rounds. They got 33 rounders you shove in there. This would probably look really funky with a drum. I have one. Hold on. So there we go. Yes. Standard capacity. Yeah. How would you carry this? This kind of looks... Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Maybe not as concealable as most would like, but pretty functional in case you need a 50-round drum on your Glock 26. To finish out this frame, we'll talk about this grip. You have 4 back straps that come with the gun, and 2 of them are going to extend the beaver tail. The other ones are just going to make the grip a little bit bigger. It's not going to extend the beaver tail if that's something of a concern. And they attach to the grip, to the frame, I should say, the same way that the other generations do as well, the other models. So you have a longer pin, and then you also have kind of this push rod here. So you're just going to remove that pin, put your desired back strap on, use the longer pin, and just push that through. And then voila, it's connected. Pretty darn simple. The way the gun feels, it's some people call the little fatty, the baby Glock. I think it's kind of lost its title of baby Glock because now you have, you know, the Glock 42, the Glock 43, which are definitely smaller than this. It's like they took a 19 and they just chopped off a portion of it, really. So it's still, you know, if you're used to that 19, you're going to be very used to this as well. But that's essentially what they did, is they just kind of took, you know, an inch, chopped it off, and here you go. 10 rounds instead of 15. Now, it doesn't bother me so much at the range, and you can kind of tell by the groupings there. Follow-up shots were not that big of a deal because it is so big. You still have a good amount of surface area in your hand. So as that gun is flipping and your hands are getting sweaty, you're getting friction between there, it didn't seem to really have a huge amount of impact on me as far as that goes. And I didn't mind it too much at all. But it does feel almost in a certain way kind of disproportionate because it's wide, but the gun is so short. It's kind of funky in that way. If you are looking at this gun and you like Glocks, you have a Glock 19, but you want something a little bit smaller. You say you have a Glock 45, you got a Glock 17, and you want to stick with 9mm, you want to stick with the Glock brand. That's kind of your digs. Totally cool. The gun that I would consider looking at comparative to this in the Glock family is I would really look at the Glock 43X. So the 43X, as far as dimensions go, is very, very close to this. It's a 10-round, 9mm. It's a single stack, though, so it's going to be thinner. The barrel on it is just about the same length as well. It is lighter as far as weight goes, but, you know, and you can also get it in a few different configurations as well. But the thing that I liked about the 43X is you have optional 15-round magazines you can get. Now, I know that this 15 rounds, and you can go with this, you can do, 12, 15, 17, 19, the list goes on and on. Obviously you just saw I put a drum in there, right? You can do a lot of mags with this. But those will start to defeat the purpose of the gun, right? With the Glock 43, you can get a 15-round mag, and yeah, you're going to have to buy it as an accessory, and so will you with any of the other ones for this. Those would go through shield arms. You get a 15-round metal mag, pop that in the bottom. Now you got 15 rounds. You got a thinner gun. It's lighter. It's higher capacity. That, to me, if I was comparing to more subcompact, or I guess you could almost push that Glock 43X into a micro-compact category, that would be a great argument on which one is more practical, which one is a better gun for a very concealed carry type of option. So if you have trouble finding one of these and you want to stick with the Glock, but you want something a little bit smaller, do take a look at the Glock 43X, because as it sits from the factory, this is 10 rounds, so is that. I would probably, for myself, go that direction over the 26, just dimensionally and also weight-wise. But that's my opinion. You do your, you do your homework, and if you can try to get both guns in your hand. If you can get to the range and shoot them both, You know, that's the best way to do it, right? Other than that, it's, you know, as far as accessories go, it's a Glock. I mean, you know, you got accessories like crazy you can get out there. Unfortunately, on this one here, it doesn't have the rail on the front, but that's not going to stop aftermarket manufacturers from making an option for this, for if you wanted to do a light or a laser combo anyways. Like I said earlier, if you want to do a red dot on this particular model I have in my hands, it doesn't have the MOS system. And I have yet to see the MOS system on one of these in person as far as that goes. I've seen them online, but I just never have seen them in person. So you can always get this milled if you wanted to. This already has the upgraded sights from the factory, the tritium night sights. And of course, you can get tritium night sights through other manufacturers as well. So the upgrades are plentiful, as you know, we have found with Glocks over decades now. But anyways, I would love to hear from you. Do you own this gun? Did you consider it? Did you go with it? Did you buy it? Did you not? What's kind of the deal? Let us know what you think about the Glock 26 Gen 5. I think I like it. It feels good. It shoots well. Comparative to that Glock 43X, though, I might go that way for myself personally if I was sticking in the Glock family. If I started to venture outside the Glock family, there is a lot of options out there, including the P365 XL, which has won my heart over because, well, you can see it. It's right there. But not to say that I don't like Glocks, because you can also see I have, well, there's a Glock and there's a Glock too. So I would love to hear from you what your thoughts are. Again, please thumbs up the video if you like guns, you support the gun community. Hit the thumbs up. That way we get higher in the rankings and get up there on YouTube so people can find our content. It helps out the channel a lot. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the little bell if you haven't already. Share the channel with your friends and family as well. We want to make sure people are getting good, relevant information to them, making good, well-educated decisions as well. Northwest Armory, if you need a gun, visit them. They're awesome. NWArmory.com. You can order your gun, have it shipped to your local FFL. If you go in the store, tell them that Grant over the Concealed Carry channel sent you in. They're going to take very good care of you. And of course, say hi to Khaki. These targets, I'm telling you, get them. Right after this video, go to xhunttargets.com. Order some targets. Use the coupon code we have. We have it only during the holidays. It is CCC Holiday, as in Concealed Carry Channel Holiday. It's going to get you 20% off of your Target order. And that's a whopping discount right there. You're going to love these reactive targets. They have had wonderful feedback, and I have absolutely loved working with them in helping design this precision target. And we've been using it since day one here on the channel. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us today on the unboxing and tabletop and range time with the Gen 5 Glock 26. And we will see you next time. The other folks are the folks over at X-Hunt. Let's jump into the side. I just recently did a review on the Glock, what was it, the 48? Okay, ergonomics. No, let's talk about this mag release. It actually looks very, very factory aesthetic, very nice. Or I should say, you have 4 backstraps. You have some that are going to extend that beaver tail on there. These are going to connect onto the machine. These